What's up, guys? It's John Dominique Prize Picks. Here to do a review, a long-term review of the Olympus EM10 camera. I purchased this guy like in August 2021. It's been very solid. I've been very comfortable with it. I didn't really feel that I needed anything more when I got it for such a long time because I felt very satisfied with it. I'm coming from old, I'm kind of an old school guy, Canon DSLRs. The last Canon DSLR I had was a Canon 50D, and I traded in a bunch of equipment. Didn't get a lot of money for it, but I think it was time for me to try something new, and I'm very glad I did. I got this Olympus EM10. I'm a little bit saddened because when I got it, not very long after I got it, the little thumb, the thumb grip on the back of it chipped off. And I was mad. And I thought to myself, man, this thing is not going to last. I eventually chiseled off all the glue and everything that was on there because there was a lot of residue left on it. Wanted to just kind of make it smooth, but I did buy the additional grip that goes underneath it. And that, helps with, I was using a lot of legacy lenses. I still kind of do old school vintage lenses. And that's one of the big reasons why I bought this guy, because I wanted the stabilization in here. The Sony cameras have, they're very good at adapting old school lenses too, but they don't really have the stabilization. The Sony cameras are great because the image quality is like APS-C, and they're almost even smaller than these Micro Four Thirds, but I wanted to try something a little different. I started kind of off with the Sony mirrorless cameras, and I tried those, and then I went to Canon DSLRs, and I was like, well, let me try something a little different. I did my research, and the reason I kind of switched to Olympus was because the lens selection. This was the big thing that got me. Sony's got good lens selections too, but the Micro Four Thirds format to me is, if you want lenses, that's the mount that has like the most lenses out of any of them. And I saw that this had 3-axis image stabilization, which does a really good job. The thing that I didn't like about it at first was the focusing mechanism wasn't as good as the DSLRs. They have phase detection, and the Olympus EM10 does not have phase detection. It only has contrast detection only. So the focusing wasn't as good, and I kind of missed that. And I missed the mirror slap of the Canon DSLRs as well. But once I started trying this out, I tried to say, give it a chance to see what happens. And I'm glad I did, because you kind of work around the shortcomings as best you can. And as far as the legacy lenses, this one did very well because I was focusing myself, manually. So that kind of, offset the bad the focusing that wasn't as good as the phase detect on the DSLRs. The mirror slap, it's not a big deal. I can live without it, but it's just some small little minor things. But the trade-offs for this Micro Four Thirds and the EM10 was like all the features you get. Like I said, the image stabilization was a great feature. One thing I started to get into with the Canon DSLRs was long exposures, and it was kind of painful with the Canon DSLRs. It was hard to set up, but when I tried it with the EM10, it was like a breeze, and it was a joy. And I thought to myself, man, I'm gonna kill these long exposures, and I did a lot of them. It makes it really easy just because of the features that this camera has. And one of the other things that saddened me about the EM10 that I didn't like was the battery life. It's not as good as the DSLRs. The DSLRs battery life lasts a long time, and I enjoyed that. That was one of the strong points for me. I didn't have to worry. So I got 2 batteries for this guy, and that seemed to do me well. Um, I do use the flash on this. I didn't do it on the DSLRs that I had for some reason. On this one, I kind of like the flash. I like the look of it when I need it. And I'm glad about that. I've got like 3 lenses total. So this lens I have up here is the 7 Artisans. I think it's the 18mm 6.3 f6.3, and it's not very sharp, and I kind of like that. What happens is that in the highlights there's like this blooming effect, and the blooming effect gives off like this glow, like this old school glow. And I'll show up some pictures that I've taken with this. I started to do some double exposures, and this camera has come in very handy. It's very slick because it fits in, you know, say a little pouch like this, a little hip pouch. And it's been very portable, and I can use it as a backup to my, now that I've upgraded to the OMD EM1 Mark II, I use this as a backup. This is the EM1 Mark II that I'm recording on now, so I can't show it to you, but like I said, I've got this lens here. I do have the 45mm f1.8 lens. This is a good portrait and landscape lens. It doesn't focus very quickly, I've found. I tried to do a project shooting birds, like bird photography, like the birds would be in the background of my landscapes, but this doesn't really keep up that good. But I still enjoy this lens. The output is tremendous. When you get a good shot, you get a good shot. And this one helps me do that. It's very small. I like it because it's lightweight. And you keep a couple of primes in my bag real easy, and it's real portable, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of it. The other lens I have is the Zuiko 17mm f1.8, which I'm recording on now. And that's a great lens too. I like that field of view. A lot of people rag on it because it's got like some field curvature, but I don't care. That's not what I'm looking for. I don't need the sharpest thing, because to be honest with you, when I got this camera, this EM10, I thought it was too sharp. I was like, and it has like this digital look. But I started to learn the ins and outs and start to use it to my advantage, and start to learn the strong points. And after a while, you get comfortable with it, you get used to it, you know how to play off its weaknesses and its strengths. And I use that digital look, and I use that sharpness to my advantage. You know, and most people, it's not a big deal. To me, it's more about what you're getting across in your image. If you have a good picture, you have a good picture. Most people are not going to care too much about sharpness or about image quality. I'm not the hugest, I need the latest and greatest all the time type of person. I just need something basic, and this guy has been doing the job very well, and I finally decided to upgrade. You know, I thought long and hard about what to upgrade to, and I'm glad I waited and got the EM1 Mark II as an upgrade, like many years, well, not many years later, maybe almost a couple of years later. That's been a significant improvement in many ways, especially for video, because this guy doesn't do very good with video. It does record video, but you know, it only has the tilting screen. It doesn't have the flip out screen. That flip out screen is almost vital for video. I did do some videos with this, I'm not gonna lie. They came out good, but you know, it's not the best thing in the world. And there's no audio input on this thing either, on this EM10. But I've been very satisfied with it. It has like all the modern features. The software is good. Like the filters are really good. I've actually been doing like the double exposures in the camera by itself, and then I put like this green filter. I'll show you some of those photos. They come out really good. Very surprised, very happy with the EM10 in the long run. I'm gonna keep this guy. I almost sold it a couple of times. It was like thinking, I did have a Panasonic GF1 for a while, but I eventually sold that because I kind of like the built-in viewfinder. This EM10, the viewfinder, I find it very usable. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but it's almost a necessary thing for me. Living in Florida with the bright light, I almost have to have a viewfinder. It's very difficult for me not to have one. There's some instances on some cameras where, yeah, it's okay not to have one. I think like the Sony RX100, I think, because their viewfinder is good enough that you can see it in a bright light. But I'm happy with the quality of the viewfinder, and the size is good. There's no complaints as far as that goes. The back LCD is not the greatest, though. I found when I was using it for manual focusing, it was difficult to see, and even when I tilted the screen, it wasn't that easy to see in the bright light. So there were some instances where, you know, it wasn't the greatest thing in the world, the greatest experience to shoot with this. But again, for the most part, I worked around it as best I could, and just used to learn to use whatever features this had to its advantage to the best of my ability. And I was very, very satisfied for a long time. I kept thinking to myself, man, I'm going to upgrade this sometime, this EM10, and I almost never got around to it because I couldn't see anything else. I was like, what else do all the features on the other cameras that I saw, I was like, I already have what I need. What more could I want? And the thing that I thought about long and hard was the phase detect. I thought to myself, maybe I should try a phase detect camera. I wanted to have that. I almost just bought the EM1 Mark 1 original, but I know that has phase detect too, but I wanted more of a significant upgrade when I finally did upgrade. And I'm glad I did, because I'm very happy with the EM1 Mark 2 as well. I think this line of cameras is doing me very well. It just suits my needs. I don't need the biggest sensor. I don't need like top-notch lenses. You know, I did have some Panasonic, what are those, Leica lenses. I had like the 50 millimeter f1.4 lens, which was very good. But I ended up trading that and the Panasonic, this is the 30 millimeter macro lens. Traded it for this EM1 Mark II. Then I just decided just to keep these Olympus lenses, and they've been doing a very good job for me. I'll show you some pictures, but I'm very satisfied. I'm going to keep both of these cameras for a long time. I think they're going to, you know, do me well. I'm going to ride this guy until the wheels fall off. You know, it's working good. You know, it's got some nicks and knacks, scratches on it. The back LCD is kind of chipped over here. You know, it's kind of well used. I took off the eye holder piece because it makes it easier to get in and out of the bags a little, because they tend to get caught, like especially when I'm using this this hip pouch. Like it's not the biggest opening here up over here, so when they put it in there, it's kind of like it's easy for that eyepiece to get caught in there. And so I just took it off, and I took it off my EM1 Mark II as well, but I still have them. I'm not sure what else to say about this EM1 Mark II. It's just been a joy to use. The files are very good. I like the colors. It's got good black and whites. It's nice sharpness. Again, it's a little digital, but you can work around it. You can, you know, decrease the sharpness in software post-processing or what have you, and decrease like the just so it's not as digital looking. But very happy with it. John Dominique, Prize Pick.